All right, 1.1 distance and midpoint. Number one, let's talk about the distance. First of all, we have this distance formula, and we've got the square root of the quantity x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus a y sub 2 minus y sub 1 quantity squared. Now we can apply this to our graph over on the left-hand side. Remember our coordinate plane with our x and our y axes, and then we've got these two random points and the line segment in between those 2 points. Well, if I want the distance between those 2 points, or the distance of the line segment, I could use this formula over here, and it's rather simple. Choose one of your points to be your first point and the other point to be your second point. Let's just take this -4, -2 to be our first point. Now remember, these are written in xy form, and since we want this to be our first point, we could label this with an x sub 1 and a y sub 1. And then our other point, the 12,8, that would be our x sub 2, y sub 2 for our second point. And then it's just a matter of plugging these values into this formula. So we would take this as equal to, let's say, 12 minus -4 quantity squared. Notice I'm not using very many parentheses and such, all right? Make sure you take care of those signs. It's very important. Plus. Now if you want this one written properly, I will. And I'll make this a bracket. Y sub 2 is 8 minus -2, which is y sub 2. All right, and I'm going to use parentheses and then another bracket. That's really how you properly draw that out. And then we just go through and we do the math. All right, so this would be the square root of 16 squared plus. Don't forget your little square over here like I did, my bad. That would be 8 minus -2, that'd be 10 squared. Equals square root of, square root of 16 squared is 256 plus 100. And that's going to be equal to the square root of 356. And what we're going to do is we're going to simplify this radical, make sure that we break this down properly. So doing that, I'm just going to come over to the side and I'm going to take my 356. I know it's divisible by 2, so that would be 2 times 178, and then break my 178 down. That's even numbers, so I know it's divisible by 2, and that would be 2 times 89. And then these are our pairs, and then you would pull those out of the radical, right? So this would be equal to 1, 2. All right, since there's a pair of 2's, just pull out 1. 89 is a prime number, and that would go back inside. So make sure you know how to simplify your radicals properly. Your answers should be in simplified radical form. Notice how many steps here. This is one step, the formula, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. Here in this problem, I want 5 steps minimum in your homework. Okay, so the distance between those 2 points is 2 radical 89. All right, let's move on to number 2.